I'm really impressed by the Xbox Series X. I've now been using the console for more than a week. Microsoft sent it to me and I think they just created the best way to experience the last generation of games. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Jedi Fallen Order, they all look great and run even better as well. But also new games like Assassin's Creed Valhalla that I've mainly played on the system runs amazingly well. The load times are just insane. And that's even without the next-gen update that will be available on November 10th when the console releases. But even without that update, it already runs in 4K and 60 frames per second. So in this Sunday Your Game show, I want to share more impressions after using the Xbox Series X. But it would not be a Sunday video if we also did not look at recent gaming trends and just the overall software state and situation that Microsoft is in compared to the PlayStation 5. Of course, I will show a lot of Valhalla as well and answer one of your questions at the end of the video. So a like would really help the channel out, and let's go. You can win Valhalla or any other 2020 game in my November giveaway. Just click the link in the pinned comment for a chance to win and be sure you are a subscriber of the channel before you enter, and good luck. So again, the Series X is really a great machine. I've been playing Valhalla on it for some time now and the one thing that next gen always promised us is speed. And like the boot up of this system is already insane. In seconds you are ready to select a game and play that. But to really get a good idea of how fast the Series X is, I wanted to try Valhalla on the One X as well. So here I'm hitting continue on the Xbox One X. You can luckily run around in the menu now and of course read the tips, because this takes 1 minute and 20 seconds to fully get into the game. Now let's do the same on the Xbox Series X. Like here it only takes 18 seconds to hit continue and then start playing, which is just insane. Again, this is the backwards compatibility mode. The true next-gen update should include even faster load times according to Ubisoft. And also fast traveling to a nearby location from the settlement takes less than 10 seconds on the Xbox Series X, and on the One X, no kidding, for fast traveling it can take 1 minute. But don't worry, Valhalla still runs surprisingly well on the current gen hardware. Dennis, who's of course working for the channel, has been only playing on the regular Xbox One from 2013. And the game runs surprisingly well, only the load times are just really bad. And now also finally playing an Assassin's Creed game in 60 FPS has been amazing. Like for the first time this is possible on a console, and this is also the case by the way on PlayStation 5. And then you really don't want to get back, like it's a way smoother experience now. But I also went back to some older games, because that is actually one of the most impressive things about the Xbox Series X, that everything just works. And it works even better. So I went back to Odyssey, and you likely remember those load times, or maybe you experienced them recently on current gen hardware. Like here on Xbox One X, it took me 1 minute to get into the game after hitting continue. I played on PlayStation, so I still have like an early Cassandra save here on One X. It's 30 FPS of course on Xbox One X, and the game still looks fine. But then I tried it on Xbox Series X, and the difference was very noticeable. For one, I was into the game in less than 10 seconds instead of 1 minute, and it just looks better and runs better as well, and this without any update to enhance the game's performance on the Xbox Series X. And then I said, okay, now let's switch to Jedi Fallen Order. It will then immediately search for your save data that I created on the Xbox One X without doing anything, like the save data is uploaded to the cloud automatically. And this works the other way around as well. If you go back to playing on the One X, it will ping the server and look for the latest save data. But yeah, I wanted to play Jedi Fallen Order now, and really, I downloaded it on my Xbox Series X. In 20 seconds, I'm inside my New Game Plus save with the Inquisitor outfit and the red lightsaber, and I can pick up where I left off. Playing 60 frames per second instead of 30 that it was on Xbox One. And the game was of course known for its like kinda buggy state, and on Series X I had no issues in the short time that I played. And then now I want to go back to Odyssey, so I select that game again, which was still running in the background, and then in 10 seconds I'm controlling Cassandra again. Quick Resume is another awesome feature where you can have multiple games running in the background and then jump between them insanely fast. One moment I was driving in Dirt 5 and then 15 seconds later I see Cal again and can continue my game. And by the way, it was just announced that Jedi Fallen Order will be coming to EA Play, so EA Access on November 10th, so at the launch of the Series X. That's also the same day that EA Play goes into Xbox Game Pass. So if you for some reason skip this very awesome game, then you can now play it in the best possible way for a $15 per month subscription. So that is a great win, and of course overall Xbox Game Pass is a great value, but overall the launch lineup for these new consoles is very bare bones. I got a code for Gears of War 5 and that game already had the next gen update installed, but you then soon realize that in terms of new games, there's just not much to check out. Everyone who has been lucky enough to get a PlayStation 5 before release got Astro's Playroom, Spider-Man Miles Morales, and they're now waiting for Demon's Souls to drop, and they got Godfall to play. While on the Xbox side, it's nice that they made a deal with Ubisoft to have Valhalla there on November 10th on the launch day, because otherwise I don't know what new game I would be playing on this new system. And even some console exclusives like the Medium that was supposed to demonstrate the power of the Series X and S was already delayed and now even moved to the end of January. Like Halo Infinite was of course supposed to be the big one, but all we got this fall are Monster Energy and Oreo promotions. Like, they're really going all out with this Halo Infinite stuff. But yeah, the game is nowhere to be seen, and we will likely have to wait till fall 2021. Don't get me wrong, it's fun to go back to Sunset Overdrive, one of my favorite games this generation, of course made by the same team inside Insomniac that is now doing all these Spider-Man games. And yeah, it's pretty crazy that I immediately boot up my save from 6 years ago on this new system, but they need to step it up in terms of new exclusives like Sunset Overdrive, and now also looking at the future, it seems that we have to wait like 1 or 2 years before we reach that point. There are also other small things like saving screenshots and uploading them that just could use some more work. It takes a pretty long time to upload them to Xbox Live, and even with the new share button, it's still very annoying to navigate and go to your screenshots and find them. We can now luckily use our mobile app as well, like photos and other captures will show up here after being finally uploaded to Xbox Live, and they can easily share them from the app. It works quite nice, but overall the capturing on Xbox still is kind of a hassle compared to the competition. The new mobile app is also great for inserting codes, for example, so you can insert them using your phone's keyboard and then they will automatically appear on your Xbox Series X, makes typing way faster. Also the whole setup happens on your phone, which works surprisingly well. Like, I'm still not really a fan of the Xbox UI, I still think it's kind of hard to find things sometimes. But the phone app is a really great addition. But these are just like small things. Overall, the Xbox Series X is really a warm blanket if you have been an Xbox fan for a while, knowing that everything comes over without a problem and just works even better than it did before. Also, going back to the One X after having used the Series X makes you just realize how much time was wasted this generation staring at laggy menus and loading screens. That is now over with this next gen. And many outlets did comparisons between the load times on PlayStation 5 and Series X through backwards compatibility, and the results are really interesting. Like, Series X is kicking the ass of the PlayStation 5. Final Fantasy 15 loaded 20 seconds faster on the Xbox Series X, and Monster Hunter World was 35 seconds versus 51 seconds on the PlayStation 5. And it really adds up if you do multiple things. Like, Greg Miller posted load time differences for Avengers, with the Xbox Series X version being 45 seconds faster to get into the same mission from the boot up screen. It's really impressive, and if this is the case for all the third-party titles, then I will be playing them on Xbox Series X. But yeah, I haven't played on the PlayStation 5 yet, and hopefully that will change in the next few days, and then I will report back, of course, because the reviews are now saying that the DualSense controller is actually really a game changer with the adaptive triggers and the haptic feedback. Like, I personally liked the Xbox One controller more than the DualShock 4, and the Series X controller is basically like an upgrade of that. It has like a share button now, an improved D-pad. And small thing, but these grips, they are improved. You can't really see it, but it feels way better to hold. So they really just improved an already great controller. But I'm like also really curious what the DualSense will bring. And maybe with the PlayStation 5, like if games are really enhanced for the PlayStation 5, it should make them also faster in terms of load times, because on paper the SSD for the PlayStation 5 is faster. I really like the Series X. Like I said, I've grew to love the size as well, and just how it looks. I think the green stuff like inside here is really cool. It does get hot though. There were some early reports about that, and after like playing for an hour or so and you hold your hand like above it here, you will feel the heat. So yeah, I can confirm that that's indeed the case. And while I'm showing you things, I want to also show you this new headset that I got from Sennheiser. Maybe you already saw me use this one a lot. It's like an earlier version. I've worn it for a few years now. I've always showed it during streams. And now I got an upgraded version from Sennheiser. So thanks, Sennheiser. It looks really cool. And overall with these headsets, like they fit really nicely. This one is also like more over ear, so you really don't hear your surroundings anymore. But overall, like Sennheiser is just great music quality. So I'll be listening to a ton of music while working on content, and yeah, sounds even better with this. So totally recommend it if you're in for a headset. Okay, now let's go for a question, because of course at the end of every Sunday video I want to answer one of your questions that you send me under the recent Sunday video. And now we got a question from Oldie But a Newbie, really cool name. With all the demos of games like AZ Valhalla that you get the pleasure of playing before the general public does, do you get to keep your game progress, or do you have to start over? We always have to start over, and there are multiple reasons for that. One, it's a early build, so things might change. And also, like, you're thrown into the middle of a game. So you never really start at the beginning of the game. That is sometimes the case for Odyssey, that was the case for example. But sometimes you are also like thrown into like just one area, and they might change things. Like really, if you have seen a lot of the East Anglia footage from Ubisoft Forward for Valhalla, and like kind of figured out where all the items were, well, they totally changed that. Like, the balance is completely different. They even changed one skill very recently. The Bowstone Finisher was first very early in the skill menu, but a recent update to the final game put it like really far away. So you have to like spend way more skill points to get that one. Maybe after they saw my high level raid video, I'm not sure. No, I think they of course already changed it before that. So no, and that's why it's always exciting to get the game at home. And that's also with a console like this, to finally have it, and I can't wait for you to finally get the game, get your hands on the next-gen consoles. Where are you going to play Valhalla? Let me know in the comments down below. Again, on current gen, it's still fine, but yeah, if you're upgrading, you're in for a treat. Like, it's so cool. I don't want to get back to current gen. I'm done with it, and it's finally cool that this week we're entering the next generation. So subscribe for way more Valhalla content. This week the channel will be all about tips and tricks and stuff like that. A like on the video would really help the channel out. Also, I started a Discord. I would love for you to join. So you can find the invite in the pinned comment. Totally join there. There are already like 300 people who want to chat Valhalla with you and other stuff. So hope to see you there. And of course, you can check out the previous Sunday video on my sort of prediction that we get a new Assassin's Creed next year. I know maybe it's too far in the future, but yeah, it is interesting and about like the overall future of Ubisoft. For now, I will speak to you next time, and goodbye.